Alright, we are looking at the traditional jewelry of Peru website. Got a pretty wild URL here. That's okay, that doesn't matter too much. Let's start at the very top. We've got a hero image here. It's a little dark. Looks to be a traditional painting of some kind. I'm assuming Peruvian in origin, considering the title of the website. The face has been cropped off. If this is to be the hero image, might include the face or cut it off entirely. Seeing half the face can often make the user confused. There we go. So we can actually see the whole. So seeing this whole image is much more intriguing to me than seeing it with the face cut off which happens at a larger view. I can see that the website is responsive, which is nice, you know. It's always good to see. I would keep the alignment of this image lower at higher viewing ratios, because I don't want to see the face cut off. This here is a great crop. This here is not that great of a crop. All right, well, let's look at the website this way. It's interesting, even though when the website is pulled out this much, the menu doesn't actually change too much. It does collapse, but it doesn't expand to its full width, so that might be something to change. Welcome to the Traditional Jewelry of Peru is the title of the website. I might remove welcome to, because it's sort of implied by the user visiting the site that they're welcomed by the opening image and title. The navigation is below the title, which is something that I would say is non-traditional in a navigation system. Usually the navigation system is put above the title. In this case, the navigation system is put below the title, and I would say that these colors are the orange and the blue and the purple. They're a very wild color palette, and the dark blue on the gray is not high enough contrast for low vision readers. So it's not accessible to someone with limited vision. They won't be able to see this text because it doesn't have enough contrast with the background. Now the white on blue does have enough contrast, but what I would say is that we could remove this color palette entirely and just have white text for a menu, because this interaction isn't really necessary. It's cool to have an interaction when you have a hover over, but this is jarring, the colors are wrong, and the boxes are too large. If you do want to have a box navigation below, I would suggest using white and black, or gray and white, something to play around with. The opening paragraph, ancient jewelry, we get a little history about the Inca civilization and how they used gold, and gold was an abundant material, and they also used resources like llama, linen made from llamas, and precious stones, and let's see, Peruvian weaving, Peruvian jewelry. So we get this little intro paragraph. I would suggest using a sans serif. I would suggest using a serif font rather than a sans serif font, because we're talking about the ancient world. We're talking about history, and oftentimes the serif font can be associated with more historical things, and serif fonts are often more considered with more modern things. Below, it looks like we have some pictures of some jewelry. These images are blurry, and this image is stretched. This image looks great. This is the type of image in the middle that I would suggest using for all your images in this area, because this is crisp, it's clean, high definition, it's great contrast, and it's a great photo. This looks like it could be stretched as well. The images on the left and right look like they've definitely been stretched. They also are pixelated, they're not as high definition. I would put sans serif in this area. I would line up these titles. They're not lined up probably because their alignment is dictated by these photos, so I would put these into separate divs or something. Trailing orphans at the end of paragraph never look good. I want to tighten that up into so that there's no hanging text if you can. This image is pixelated. It probably looks better at a lower resolution. But it's pixelated. Oh, it changes. That's nice. Oh, no, it doesn't. Okay, it's different. I would put this all into one paragraph. It doesn't really need to be split into 2 columns on this here. In fact, I don't know. I'm not really sure if any of these need to be split into 2 columns. I would say, think about the strategy of this website. Why is the navigation below the title? Is there a purpose for that, or maybe there's no purpose for that? Maybe the navigation belongs at the top of the website. And for instance, does this need to be split into 2 columns, and why is it split into 2 columns? Maybe it could just be a center justified paragraph. There's a lot of space here. I don't know if this is really a necessary area for white space. Maybe these images could be larger and the descriptions could be next to them, because the images are really what the user will be studying, and since there's not a great deal of information associated with these images, having a little subtitle might be the right decision for this. Same with this. Doctors is spelled wrong. There should be an apostrophe to indicate ownership. I mean, there's this whole website needs some love. There's pixelated images. There's stretched images. I like the concept. I think the concept is great. Sticky navigation at the bottom may negate the need for a top navigation at all. Maybe the sticky navigation goes on the top. So let's see. It looks like this just goes to anchors on the home page, and this is also an anchor on the home page, and this is also an anchor on the home page. So considering this is all just one home page, it's all one long scrolling page, I would suggest doing away with this navigation here, and cleaning up this navigation here, and also changing this color scheme, because the blue and the purple and the orange, it looks like this could be some colors that were pulled out of one of these bracelets, maybe. Maybe it was just some colors that you enjoy. I think all these colors individually are great. I really like this dark blue. I like this vibrant orange, and purple is one of my favorite colors. But in this combination, it doesn't work for me on this website, because it looks like we're trying to show the history and the beauty of jewelry. And so when we look at jewelry websites, I mean, let's look at Tiffany's website. What does that look like? I mean, not that we're trying to be Tiffany's here. We're trying to be the history of jewelry. But this is my point. They're using a serif font. Well, they use a sans serif as a support font, but their title font is serif, and it's very clean. The pictures are very large. Tiffany's is a company with a long history as well. Not as long as the Peruvian history, but as far as a modern company, they have many, many years of history. So they're trying to reflect that here. Obviously, your website is different. It's about history of jewelry, and then it looks like you're working on your finals and art projects, and that's awesome. So this could be a portfolio website. I'm not quite sure, but I hope that these tips, or at least my discussion, has been a little helpful, and I'll come up with some visuals that might be able to help you on your way. Thanks, Ray. Thanks for reaching out. It's awesome to connect with you on Instagram.